Hello and welcome back to the Pattison Post Show. My name is Les Pattison, I'm your host. Thank you for joining us for episode 7. Now, in light of the Canadian government's recent decision to sell arms to Ukraine, I decided that this episode would be about state-sponsored violence and my views on it. First and foremost, let me state that in my belief, nothing good will ever come from state-sponsored violence. The reason I say this is because if we go trying to seek any sort of solution that is a positive solution and we use violence to get it, no matter how hard we try, no matter how good our intentions are, we will not realize that positive impact that we're trying. The reason being is because whenever you approach something with violence, somebody is walking away hurt or dead. So you can't go into somewhere thinking that you can go kill a bunch of people and the problem will be solved. Because unless you're planning on wiping everybody out with the particular ideology that you are combating, you're not going to win. And that's just all there is to it. So to use Ukraine as the example, Ukraine is in a civil war. We're backing one side of that civil war. Apparently the Russians are backing the other side. If we actually wanted a solution to this war, we could be using the international organizations that were set up after World War I and World War II specifically to deal with situations like this. But we aren't. So that leads me to believe that we are not actually seeking any sort of peaceful solution in Ukraine, or anywhere else that we actually intervene for that matter, which means that it seems like we have no problem with, as an example, the people of Ukraine killing each other. And sadly, we're probably benefiting in it for some way, otherwise we wouldn't be backing them. Because if we only stood to benefit from the peaceful resolution of this conflict, we would be using the United Nations in order to bring about that change. And really simply, there's veto power. So if one side that's supposedly backing either side of this civil war vetoes a UN resolution to go in there and bring peace, then you know that that side's guilty. That creates a whole host of issues in itself, because then that would be one side essentially admitting that we are in some sort of a proxy war. And seeing as how the American and Russian diplomats are barely even talking to each other at this point, that's not a good situation to be in. So really simply, I firmly believe that if we wanted a peaceful resolution to this Ukrainian issue or any other issue that pops up in our world, we would be using these international organizations. And I'm not saying that, martial law should be declared and the blue helmet should be marched in, but at the same time, if the international community gets together, puts troops in every single Ukrainian town and city, who's going to be fighting still? Do you really think that somebody's going to take a shot at the United Nations troops? Especially in what we're told is a civilized Western country? So, if we really wanted to, do something for the benefit of the Ukrainian people, because ultimately they're the ones that are suffering here. They're the ones that are losing their homes, their family members, their livelihoods. We would be seeking peaceful resolutions. We wouldn't be arming people. And this goes for every single conflict that you see across the globe right now. At a time that we are so connected, it makes no sense why we don't essentially lock our diplomats in a room until they come up with some sort of a solution to this. Because the solution of shooting each other and blowing each other up, or arming either side of a conflict, never ends well. All you gotta do is just go ask any single person who's ever been in the middle of a war zone, and they'll tell you. One side shooting another side doesn't end the conflict, especially when you're talking about people who all live in the same country. This is like, people in BC fighting people from Quebec because they don't have the same ideals. And then one country gets involved and say backs BC, another country gets involved and backs Quebec. Well, guess what? The people of BC and the people of Quebec are going to suffer, and probably everybody in between. The only person or people or organizations that would benefit from this are people that are positioning themselves to benefit off of the suffering from others. And we're currently complicit in that, and we shouldn't be. We should be expecting more from our politicians, and the fact that the politicians don't even want to talk to you about these issues is even more so concerning. I would love to see a Canada where instead of arming people or picking a side, we actually went in as peacekeepers and tried to find a peaceful damn solution to these problems. Like, where are our diplomats? Where are our peacekeepers? Why aren't we trying to find a peaceful resolution to this problem that doesn't involve helping kill Ukrainian citizens? That's just my food for thought for the day. These are things that I think about on a regular basis. You like where I'm going with this? You got something to say? Because this is one really big issue that we should talk about. Let me know. Like, comment, share, do whatever. It's a serious issue though, bottom line. We either start actually trying to find peaceful solutions, or these proxy wars only increase. We gotta stop being pawns for these big countries. Like, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. It's very rare that you find somebody that just enjoys the wholesale destruction of somebody else. So, if we ourselves do not enjoy causing misery to others, why do we allow our governments to do it on our behalf? Have a good day. Goodbye.